Devil May Cry 5, one of yours truly's most looked forward to games, coming out next year, but it's coming. At least it's coming.
Yes.
And it's not a sequel of the lousy reboot. Yeah. Thank goodness.
The old DMC.
Yes. Devil May Cry 5 is going to include everyone's favorite microtransactions.
Insert like little children's celebration sounds here. Five Nights at Freddy's style.
Oh, absolutely. You made it through the night, and now you have microtransactions.
Yes.
Yay!
Yes.
So, these microtransactions will allow players to purchase red orbs. You've never played a Devil May Cry game, have you?
No.
Okay, so red orbs are the device, the thing that you collect from defeated monsters that kind of act as the game's currency to unlock new moves and new skills. It's kind of like experience points. You can use money, real world money though, to just buy red orbs. So let's take a look at what the one of the folks working on the game had to say about this. This explanation is coming from director Hideki Itsuno, and here's what he had to say about that. With giving people the ability to purchase red orbs, it's something we want to give people as an option. If they want to save time and just want to get all the stuff at once, those people can do that. But on the other hand, I don't feel you have to get all the moves. You should be able to play it the way you want to play it. It's interesting because from a game design point of view, there's two different things we think about when we set the prices of the moves, skills, and abilities which can be purchased with red orbs. The first thing is the stuff that we feel people should want to get first is made cheaper. So people will think, oh, this is cheap, so I'm just going to buy this. But then for the stuff that's going to be harder to use and master, we make that more expensive. Partly because if you save up for that, you're not going to be able to buy as many skills, so you're going to have the time to learn it. So you have to make the decision between going for the cheaper stuff or saving up, getting the thing that has a lot of application, but you'll have to spend time learning and perfecting. So what do you think of that?
I mean, I don't know. I think it makes sense. I just hopefully the red orbs, I don't know how easy they are to come by.
Every single monster drops them. The stronger the monster, the more they drop.
Okay, then I guess it really just comes down to how much those items cost. Because it'd be really lame if it's like really impractical to get all of those items or whatever, to buy all those items. Like if it's really hard and takes so much time without spending money. Like if they try to get you that way. But I mean, if it's fair, like if you don't, like it, I've never been opposed to like grinding for like a while to try and get some money to like, and it's kind of satisfying too, So I think it can be done in a way like it's just, I don't know. I'll have to wait and see, what the prices look like.
Yeah.
And like how that practically would play out, like saving up for it. But if it's where it's like, paying is like the only like feasible way, like realistically, that'd be really annoying.
Right. And I'm usually against microtransactions, but I have a hard time finding a way to legitimately complain about, if people want to just spend money to make their character more developed, or if people just want to spend money and go through the game faster. I have a hard time like complaining against that because it's something that is 100% optional. It's strange. I can't really relate to gamers who want to do that.
Yeah.
But so on one hand, I don't have a problem with it. He did make one comment though that I'm kind of like, I don't really like what he's getting at here. When he said, on the other hand, I don't feel you have to get all the moves.
Yeah, exactly.
What does he mean by that though? Does that mean that because here's what I like to do when I'm playing a game that has a either a skill tree or like outside of RPGs. Yeah, outside of RPGs, like RPGs do have that element. If you want to get your character as strong as feasibly possible as they can be, you're going to have to grind. You can't just go through the game,
right,
fight as you go and just expect your character to be level 100 by the end of the game. I understand that in an RPG, but Devil May Cry is an action game in the vein of, oddly enough, Spider-Man. Actually, the combat, there are elements of the combat in Spider-Man that feel a lot like Devil May Cry, like the air juggling and all, and doing combos and stuff like that, and dodging. All of that kind of comes from Devil May Cry. So, how Spider-Man works is, I definitely feel that by the end of the game, I'll have all the skills unlocked.
Yeah.
So I won't really have to do additional grinding if I want to get something specific in the game. Like, it'll just happen naturally. And I feel like in an action game, that's great. Like, if you just play through the game naturally, by the time you get to the end, you've got all the skills.
Right, but then it's like, I'm okay with like having to go through a few levels, like a level or two, a few more times, just to get like a little bit more, you know? As
long as it's not crazy. I remember some people complaining about, I don't know if it was all of the older God of War games or if it was just one in particular, but a friend of mine did play it, and I remember asking them, because they actually have something very similar. Like, they have red items that you collect that are the things that you use to... God of War borrows a lot, or at least old God of War. I don't mean the new one that just came out. But all the old God of War games borrow liberally from Devil May Cry. And that's one of the things that they borrow. And I've heard that, yeah, if you want to get everything, you're either going to have to play through the game multiple times, which is nice because it does have a new game plus, or you're going to just have to sit there and grind and grind and grind and grind.
Yeah. And that's annoying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, in the scenario where it's like you go through a level and you're like, I could have gotten a little bit more on that. I could have done better, and then you just kind of want to go through it again. You know, like... Oh,
yeah. And I've run into that on Spider-Man, actually. Yeah. I've since I started doing the challenge things, there was one that, you know, you have to fight a bunch of waves of bad guys, and you get, you know, you get like the gold medal, or you get the most out of that if you beat it within a set time. And I kept doing it because I kept failing, but every time I attempted it and didn't quite finish it, it still gave me a chunk of experience from all the dudes that I was experiencing. So even though I wasn't getting the thing I wanted, I was still getting experience and leveling up and buying more moves to make it easier.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool because I was getting better not only as a player, but my character was developing too. So I feel like that game is really good when it comes to balancing the two things. If you do a story mission, like, you get a lot more experience, whereas if you just do little side missions here and there, you don't really get a lot of experience per side mission. So
basically, you're just saying Devil May Cry 5, like, you don't want all those, like, abilities or whatever.
Yeah,
they need to be able to come kind of naturally.
Yeah,
like,
there really aren't side missions in Devil May Cry. You basically just go from level to level until you beat the game. So I'd rather them just pace it out, and just judging from his comment there, where I don't think you need to get all the moves, but I want all the moves.
Yeah, exactly. It goes back to kind of what I said. Like, you don't want it to be like really tough, like a bunch of grinding and all that stuff to get those other moves. You know, you don't want that to be the alternative to paying. It needs to be, it's interesting, because then it comes back to like the question, like, why would you have the payment option if you get them all naturally?
Right. And it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, where he's basically talking about, you know, spending money and basically bypassing all this time playing the game and earning abilities, whereas you just plop down money and you get it, and you don't have any time actually like practicing and playing the game.
Right.
Like, he kind of, I was kind of confused by his comment with that, because I'm like, well, wait a second. If you're just paying to skip stuff, you're not going to be as experienced as someone who took the time to play the game, get those orbs, and buy it naturally.
Yeah, and you're not going to be as good with the movesets because you're going to get them all at once, and it's going to be like, ugh.
So it doesn't, the reasoning doesn't really work, and I kind of feel like this is just one of those things where board of directors is just like, nope, we want microtransactions in the game. Here's how you're going to do it. Have fun, director. When you have your interviews and people ask you why there are microtransactions in a game which doesn't have microtransactions traditionally.
Yeah, so let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. Hope it's
Sure.
okay. Hope the movesets come along.
Yeah. All I know is
not super too difficult to get. And stuff.
all I'm saying is Capcom, I'm not buying a single thing.
Yeah.
If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to comment below, you're welcome to do it. Let us know if you are going to buy everything or just go commando and Rambo through the game and just wreck it and buy stuff like I'm going to do.